Hi there, Dr. Vicki Lemfer here with the Shift Happens channel. Today, we're going to talk about surrender, and especially I'm going to read just a short passage from Neville Goddard. And I think this will help to relieve you a little bit because so often we think surrendering means giving up, like totally letting go. And it also is in conjunction with control. We are so used to trying to control the outcome. If we do so much, this will ensure our success, right? Because in the outer world, that's what we do, right? But in the inner world, it's all opposite of what we think, right? Everything that I teach you is counterintuitive to what we've all been raised with or learned from our past, right? So now we have to kind of undo our thinking and really trust in the process, because that is a huge part of surrendering, is believing and knowing that the process works. And the process is truly just allowing God to take care of the when, where, and how. So I'm going to read to you a quick passage from Neville Goddard. And before we do that, go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment. Actually, comment below. I am surrendering all of my desires to God and allowing God to take over. So again, in the comments, right, I am surrendering all of my desires to God and allowing God to take over. And that is so key to actually surrendering and enjoying this process. I will always continue to tell you, you have to enjoy the process, because if you're not, there is tons of resistance. And again, it goes with that whole control piece, right? We are so ingrained in making, controlling our outcomes, controlling our 3D, that's a natural, normal state. But it's not, because when we're doing it, we're trying to do this, we're trying to do this and this and this and that. And again, we're doing all the doings, we're doing the checklist, we're doing all these things, but we're not being. Again, we're not human doings, we're human beings. And so, surrendering is huge, right? And if it's too big, surrender to something smaller. And I always tell you to kind of progress through this a little bit. So if maybe there's a subject where you want, but the desire isn't so like, oh, right? And that's another piece of this, is that we often think our desire is way bigger than we think it is. And we have it on a pedestal. Surrendering will help take that pedestal down. And all of a sudden, you're starting to put yourself up there, because all of a sudden you are not obsessing over the outcome. You're more relaxed and you're enjoying the process, which is absolutely key. Again, I can't say that enough. So let's get into it. By the way, if you want some help with this, I will always hold you accountable. We have a lot of fun. And if you enjoy learning how to manifest with fun and ease and enjoyment, go ahead and contact me at shifthappenslifecoaching@gmail.com. I also have all the information below. Go ahead and sign up on my Calendly, okay? And always like, subscribe, and comment, because that helps, and I so appreciate it, helps with the channel to reach more people. And that is what I'm here for, is to truly, truly help you find freedom. Because that is what we're after, is freedom. Freedom to be and do and have all that you desire, and enjoy it. All right, so let's get to it. This is chapter 4, Desire, from Neville Goddard's Power of Awareness, okay? And this is a short little excerpt. All transformation is based upon suggestion. And this can work only where you lay yourself completely open to an influence. Okay, I'm going to read that again. All transformation, because that's what we want to do, is change our self-concept to be the person that has the SP, the money, the health, right? All transformation is based upon suggestion, assumption, right? And this can work only where you lay yourself completely open to an influence. The influence is God. The influence is the desire. The desire comes from God. You lay yourself and say, take over, God. This is yours. You take over the how, when, and where. You You gave me the gift of desire. I received it. Now I'm going to put it over to you. And this kind of interprets also, and I won't get into it too much, but your will and God's will, right? All of a sudden you get the desire. I want this. I'm going to intentionally manifest this. This is my will. And then you surrender and allow God to take over. And that's God's will. And God's will is your will. So often we think God's will is comes and then it becomes ours, which it kind of does because it comes through desire. But if it would, so often I hear, well, if it'll be, it's God's will. And that just kind of throws things up like, oh, I have no control. I got to be careful with that word control. But I guess I don't always get what I desire is what you're saying. And so if it's God's will, it's God's will. God's will is perfect, right? And so when you get a desire, it comes through you through God, right? And so you're like, wow, I really want this. And then you just lay yourself out to the influence. The influence is God. God takes over. And God takes over on the when, where, and how. I mean, again, what a perfect partner. And I say God, you could say source, universe, infinite intelligence, whatever it is that you feel comfortable with. And I interchange things, it kind of depends on the day. The idea is it's your higher self. It is the Almighty, right? And so, again, that should be your number one relationship. And that's the one where I get up in the morning and I go through a series of gratitude and love towards God. And so let me go on with this passage. So all transformation is based upon suggestion, and this can work only where you lay yourself completely open to an influence. You must abandon yourself to your ideal as a woman abandons herself to love. For complete abandonment of self to it is the way to union with your ideal. Union with your ideal, union with your ideal self-concept, your union with your ideal core, who you are, and that is your God self, right? God is here, then you are part of God. Surrender to that and accept that power is going to take over and create that pathway. Now again, it's a path of least resistance, but that doesn't mean there isn't resistance. Resistance is necessary. So when you surrender and go, okay, I feel good, and then inevitably you are approached with contrast or a challenging moment, then you're willing to just go, oh, see, it doesn't work. I surrendered, now look what happened. But the resistance is necessary for the process because that is still the bridge of incidents. That is getting you to your SP. For instance, maybe there's some work you need to work on yet. So when you have that challenging moment, it's actually a blessing because all of a sudden it's revealing, hey, you have some work to do. You want to be the best ideal version of yourself for your SP. And again, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be fully healed in order to be with your SP. But if there are some things that you really need to work them out now. So if you're not in contact, this is a really great opportunity for you to work on some things that will help you to build that self-concept, to build that ideal version of you. And that is part of surrendering and accepting yourself as your God self, as that core being of pure love, because that is God, right? God is pure love. You are whole, complete, and perfect. And so it's not really changing. It's just peeling off the layers of all those limiting beliefs we've developed. We all have them, right? So don't get all bent up about it. And it doesn't take long to heal. You just accept yourself, go through it, feel the negative feels, and get into that surrender of it's okay. You're going to meet resistance. You're going to have contrast. But that's the beauty of it, because that points you back to who you are, because it builds up that weight. I want improved situation. I need to be a better person. Therefore, I'm going to look into this negative emotion, heal it, which doesn't take much, and then you move on and continue to surrender. It's not just a one-time thing. It could be a one-time thing of surrendering, but oftentimes, especially with SPs, we love, right? And so we build up all these stories that counteract what you really want. But the idea is that it's a continual surrender. It's a continual basis. There's contrast. Feel it, live it, heal it, move on. And then surrender. Go back to surrendering and allowing God to guide. All right? I know this sat well with most of you out there. So if you want help with coaching, go ahead and contact me at shifthappenslifecoaching@gmail.com. All the information is below. And again, sign up with Calendly. And again, hey, I wrote it on my note. I am surrendering and allowing God to take over. All right? I am surrendering and allowing God to take over. Continue to subscribe, comment, share. Let's get this community going. If you enjoy learning how to manifest with ease and joy and fun, go ahead and continue and watch the videos, or if you need coaching, contact me. All right? Until next time, bye-bye.